Hi there. Welcome back for another episode of The Greatest Record Ever Made. I'm Carl Caffarelli, the co-host of This is Rock and Roll Radio with Dana and Carl, heard every Sunday night from 9 to midnight Eastern Time in Syracuse on Spark, WSPJ 103.3 and 93.7 FM, and on the web at sparksyracuse.org. I'm also a writer, and I've been working on a book called The Greatest Record Ever Made, Volume 1, dedicated to the notion that an infinite number of songs can each be the greatest record ever made as long as they take turns, which records do. As noted last week in the video, the greatest record ever made book is nowhere near a publisher yet. My agent and I parted company last week. I broke up with her, which is kind of like saying that you broke up with someone who's already moved out of the house. But yeah, we wish each other well. She was actually enormously helpful in getting the project to this point, and I'm hopeful that I will be able to take the ball and carry it into the end zone, which is like about, I don't know what's possible. The end zone seems to be about 300 yards away, but we'll continue. I've actually expanded the book. It's now going to cover 200 songs, actually 205 songs, 200 songs plus 5 bonus tracks. The bonus tracks have been in place in all concepts of the book going back probably about a year and a half or more. An overture, an entr'acte, 2 encores, and a coda. So 205 songs total. I've added stuff. I've added all sorts of things. It's a big book. I've added tracks by Rihanna, Peggy Lee, REM, Conway Twitty, Television. It's a long list. I hope an entertaining list of songs, and I hope, furthermore, an entertaining collection of essays about each song that you will enjoy reading when you have the chance to do so. Today, we're going to talk about Pink Floyd. And if I could go back in time and tell my teen or 20-something self that I would be writing something positive about Pink Floyd, my younger self wouldn't have known what to make of me. I really did not like Pink Floyd when I was younger. And it's odd that how our tastes change and evolve over time. We don't change who we are. Our tastes don't necessarily change, but they do evolve. The stuff that we used to like, much of it we always like, and sometimes stuff that we didn't care for develops an appeal over time. And that was certainly the case for me with Pink Floyd. Also with the Grateful Dead, which really would have shocked my younger self. There's a chapter in the book about the Grateful Dead. There's a chapter in the book about Don Henley of the Eagles. I can hear my 21-year-old self screaming across the decades. But let's see what the book has to say about Pink Floyd right now. Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, written by David Gilmour and Roger Waters, produced by Pink Floyd, from the album Wish You Were Here, Harvest Records UK, Columbia Records USA, 1975. I was not a Pink Floyd fan ever. As a punk and power popper in the late 70s and early 80s, the Floyd was as much the enemy as anything out there, as much as the Eagles, and more than disco. I would not open my mind to even the possibility of me ever developing an interest in the drug-addled twaddle of Pink Floyd. I made an exception for some early Syd Barrett-era Floyd as I became aware of it, but otherwise, an emphatic no. I don't need no education. When some friends dropped the needle on Comfortably Numb at a party, I felt like clawing my freaking skin off rather than listen to it for the seeming eternity of its more than 6-minute running time. 6 minutes? That's like 4 Ramones songs. I'm not sure when or why this changed. I think it started when Barrett passed in 2006, and Dana and I decided to spotlight our Sid on that week's edition of This is Rock and Roll Radio. The spotlight included your usual early Floyd go-to tracks like See Emily Play and Arnold Lane, and some solo Sid, but also 2 later Floyd tracks that were directly inspired by Barrett, Shine On You Crazy Diamond and Wish You Were Here. I was suddenly swept away by both of these. For the first time in my life, I was interested in this brooding, self-aware head music, stuff I had previously rejected as pompous and humorless. I didn't become a fan immediately, and I'm still enough of a Pink Floyd dilettante that a couple of best of CDs are all the Floyd I have in my possession. All I'm likely to need, but I do need it. Even Another Brick in the Wall, even Comfortably Numb, and especially Wish You Were Here. Around 2013 or so, I decided that I wanted a Pink Floyd anthology, a decision primarily prompted by the awareness of my growing affection for Wish You Were Here. I was playing my copy of the Best of Pink Floyd, A Foot in the Door, in my car one afternoon when my daughter Megan was with me for one of her first visits home from college. She heard the music playing, saw what it was, and looked at me with a skeptical look and asked, "What exactly has been going around here since I've been gone?" We should be willing to confess the limits of our own knowledge and experience. At this writing, I have never heard Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album in its entirety. In fact, other than Best of Collections, I have never listened to any Pink Floyd album from start to finish. I just haven't. I don't say this now to express some misplaced, belligerent point of pride. I wasn't interested in Pink Floyd when I was younger, and I haven't yet gone back to investigate the matter further. There are many things I never got around to doing. I've never seen The Godfather, nor 2001: A Space Odyssey, nor any Hitchcock film. I have never read A Catcher in the Rye. I have never watched The Sopranos. I admit all of these admissions in my own pop culture CV, not to claim I'm cooler than the crowd, because plainly I'm not, but to concede the fact that there's so much out there that I don't know. Things that most of my peers know intimately. As time has passed, I've sometimes felt self-conscious about trying to fix these gaps in my experience. At my age, can I possibly have the sort of meaningful interaction with Holden Caulfield or the Corleones as others had at the right time in the right place? Maybe not, but maybe. Hitchcock's North by Northwest is on my DVR. A beat-up J.D. Salinger paperback is on my bookshelf. Time is finite, but it retains possibilities. Pink Floyd remains an increasingly viable possibility for me, even though I haven't quite gotten there yet. In the meantime, Wish You Were Here. God, what a record. Wish You Were Here is the lushest sounding shrug one could imagine. Its sigh of regret is cataloged in a litany of compromises, like trading heroes for ghosts, or exchanging a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage. This was the rich, intelligent material I once rejected as pompous. I disavow ever being that young and steadfastly pig-headed. We make our choices with blind conviction. The lady or the tiger? Well, what if the tiger turns out to be the friendly Kellogg's cereal mascot, Tony the Tiger? Or Talkie Tawny from old Captain Marvel comic books? And the lady is Squeaky Fromme? In the words of Lou Reed, I guess that I just don't know. How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year. Running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here. The road not taken. The highway to hell. Hail, traveler. Wish you were here. Thank you for joining me this week for the greatest record ever made. Below you'll see options to tip and subscribe and support and to read my daily blog, bopping like the hip folks do. For those of us who like to read stuff, I told you it was on my shelf. I'll get to it. It's only a matter of time. I'll get to Pink Floyd. I'll get to Hitchcock. I'll get the old stuff. I'll get the new stuff. I'll get to what I get to. And thank you for joining us this week for the greatest record ever made.